Welcome back to the next edition of the Thoughts series, Neo Reality Thoughts. I'm your host, Eric Brown, aka Neo Reality Entertainment, and today we're talking about the next IWGP Intercontinental Championship match. We're going through them. I wonder if there's a theme for this. Oh well, who knows other than me. This time we're talking about the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller, Y2J, the Painmaker, taking on Evil. Yeah, and I'm trying to wonder how that would be a face name if his name is Evil. Though, of course, I'm pretty sure fans would probably see him as Evil one way or another because he's apparently engaged to Io Shirai, and therefore every male wrestling fan and probably a couple of females are going to have their hopes dashed knowing that Io Shirai is off the market. But that's beside the point. We're here to talk about Chris Jericho and Io Shirai's apparent future, soon-to-be husband, and probable factor in her leaving WWE if it ever came to it, for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship match at Power Struggle of 2018. So, during the match of Dominion of that year, Chris Jericho had defeated Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. And after the match, Chris Jericho continued to assault Naito until his fellow LIJ stablemate Evil came out to his rescue. And Chris Jericho would disappear for months on end because he has all the Fozzy commitments. At least he has a reason not to be around, though I do wonder why they gave him the title, because they wanted him to fight Tetsuya Naito. But yeah, it was probably not worth it considering the IWGP title was supposed to be, Intercontinental title was supposed to be like allegedly the second most important title in New Japan, but who knows how they think. So yeah, Jericho wouldn't be seen again until King of Pro Wrestling, where right before Evil's match against Zack Sabre Jr., who had turned heel around this time, Jericho attacked Evil, causing the match to be called to a no contest, and backstage, Jericho, because of his arrogance, challenged Evil to a match and was made official. Yes, Zack Sabre Jr. was supposed to have a match, and Jericho sneak attacked him, Evil, and wearing the hood and everything. Like, Jericho's style is sneak attack wearing a disguise. I love it. I really do. I like it. Everyone knows it's Jericho at this point, but yeah, it's fun. So yeah, there's not that much story in terms of build up to it, because since Jericho was gone for so long, and they only had minimal interaction, and they don't do a weekly show, so really they can't really build to a match traditionally. This is the New Japan system, not the WWE or even AEW system, where they have months and months of build, whereas WWE has like less than a month of build to build up to their matches, unless it's long term. But anyways, everyone knew where this was going. Like, I don't think anyone believed Evil was going to win this match. Sure, they might give the illusion he was going to win this match, but that was just to build up the drama. In reality, I knew Evil wasn't going to win, even when I didn't know who the guy was. I knew it was eventually going to have to lead to Tetsuya Naito versus Chris Jericho one more time, which we got at Wrestle Kingdom the next year. And yeah, the rest they say is history on that. But let's get into this match. So Evil does his. Okay, I really love Evil's promo and everything. I really love his vignettes he does to build up to a match. And I really did love this scythe he had during his entrance. It reminded me of Warriors Orochi's Orochi character. In fact, I'm surprised he has not dressed up like the Serpent King for the hell of it. Maybe he'll do that one day if he gets a big marquee matchup at Wrestle Kingdom. That would be kind of awesome. And Io Shirai, if she ever decided to leave WWE and go back to Japan, since they now own Stardom, they could have Io Shirai come out as Daji. Yeah, that would be kind of freaking awesome if they did that. But yeah. Moving on from possible ideas they could do if it ever happened. Um, So Evil, and then Jericho comes out with the IWGP IC title wearing two masks. One is pure black and white with white cuts, and then he unmasks it to reveal a white mask with black cuts. And right before the match could even get a proper start, Evil attacks Jericho straight away. And we get basically a all but in name no DQ match, because for some reason every time when they have American based wrestlers or Canadian based wrestlers or anyone from the West, it always devolves into a hardcore style matchup. Like, really think about it. Jericho attacks Kenny Omega, it's been made a no DQ match. Jericho attacks Naito, it's made into a borderline no DQ match by having a preemptive assault. Then attacks Evil, preemptive no DQ match. Then Tetsuya Naito versus Jericho, hardcore match for in all but name. Then we got Jericho first. Then we got Jon Moxley coming in, making hardcore matches out of nowhere. Yeah, it turns out that Jon Moxley announcing the Texas Death Match against Lance Archer. Yeah, it turns out, how do I put this out, Kelly? That wasn't planned. They were supposed to just have a straight up match until Ambrose was like, he's from Texas, let me just do this. Goes on a microphone and says, Texas Death Match! And Gato was not told. This was off the script, off the mic, on the microphone moment, and Gato was like, fine, you could do it. So yeah, I'm like, if this was WWE, Vince would probably castrate him if he wanted to. Even though he kind of did when Ambrose was supposed to give out this long-winded promo against Rollins, and all that Ambrose said was, slay the beast. Which was simple, effective, and kind of alright. But then Vince has a problem with it because it's not a long dreared out promo. But enough about my past history involving seeing Moxley be horrendously creatively abused by Vince. We gotta go back on the other craziness that is the IWGP Intercontinental Hardcore title match. Jericho versus Evil. So, yeah, like in less than 10 minutes, they already set up tables. They have crashing DDT moments. They have basically everything you need to make a New Japan hardcore match in all but name. And yeah, and this match was okay for me. Like, it didn't really do much for me in terms of if I would rewatch it again and again like I would with Jericho and Naito too. But for what we got was okay. I think the rating on 411 Mania was accurate. Like, I don't know why it was given a 4-star by Dave Meltzer. Yeah, but so Jericho, but I get why Jericho's style has become more brawling based because he's at an age where he can't do the things he did, which is why some people would question why Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jericho's match didn't devolve into a hardcore match because of Jericho's aging style at his age. But yeah. And we also get Jericho mocking Red Shoes and his son, so that was fun. Then we also had gotten Chris Jericho and Evil just going at it. Eventually, and then Evil hits him with the Everything is Evil finishing maneuver for a near fall, and they're trying to build that Evil's probably that has a chance of winning. But I do love when Jericho puts the hold of the walls of Jericho and then evolves it into a Lion Tamer. It makes the move look more brutal, like I saw with Cody Rhodes and Jericho, where Jericho put him in the Lion Tamer and starts stomping on his head. Like, imagine if Jericho did that back in 2018. That would have been brutal. But yeah, Evil was very close to the ropes, but then tapped out, which bugged me a little bit. It reminded me of when Johnny Gargano tapped out to the Revival, like, with less than a foot to then barely close, even though he was close to the ropes as anyone can be. And yeah, that was probably the big problem I had with the match. Like, Evil's literally right there to the ropes. You could have went for an additional 4 minutes. But yeah, Jericho continues to apply the torture of the Lion Tamer walls of Jericho until Naito comes out and makes the save. However, after Jericho departs, not doing the New Japan tradition of after the show you cut a promo, Naito instead takes the microphone and announces he proclaims that he will challenge Chris Jericho and win back the IWGP IC title as part of Naito's story with the IC title because he has a love-hate relationship with it. But then afterwards, Jericho would go ahead after the show, cut a promo about how he made Evil famous and how he gave Evil his best match to date. And while that could certainly have helped to elevate him, there certainly hasn't been that much progress as far as I've seen. Like, he has challenged Okada on several occasions before Jericho, so yeah, think of that what you will. But Jericho tries to get out of this by saying there will be no match between me and Naito. I don't care if it's at Wrestle Kingdom. I don't care if it's at the Tokyo Dome. I don't care if it's in his grandmother's backyard or whatever. But yeah, he keeps saying that the match is not going to happen, even though the match is clearly happens. But I just love that swag that Jericho brings to the table. But yeah, I never really got really interested in the idea of the evil wrestler. Like, it's nothing against him. It's just it's probably because I just never really watched any of his bigger matches with Okada, and I hope to plan that rectify that one day. But right now, I'm kind of focused on talking about some IC title matches in New Japan for a reason. You'll see next Tuesday, hopefully. But yeah, the Intercontinental Championship wouldn't disappear until the build-up for Wrestle Kingdom would begin, and Naito and Jericho would go at it, deliver a classic, and Naito retakes the title. Jericho disappears, then challenges Okada. I'll talk about that match when I can. And subsequently would go on to an AEW's World Title, defeat Hiroshi Tanahashi in his first Wrestle Kingdom victory, so that was awesome. But yeah, it was, and I love how the commentators in New Japan's English commentary, I didn't watch the Japanese one, how they do acknowledge that yes, Jericho was in WWE. He's actually a 10-time IC champ because he held the WWE Intercontinental Championship over 9 times, and now he's the IWGP Intercontinental Championship. Yep. In fact, now that I think about it, the layer between Naito and Jericho kind of deepens when you add in that contrast, because look at it from Naito's perspective. He hated the IC title in New Japan because of what he did to him, the vote and everything. Then you got Jericho, and then every time they try to give him the title because they don't want him to be the guy, like this was a more of a fuck you message saying we like, you're great, but we don't see you as the guy. We don't see you as the Okada or the Omega or eventually the Jay White of the world. And then Naito abuses it to no end. Then you got Jericho, who has all these tools, all this talent, and he has been a multi-time world champion, but every time when he loses the title, he always loves to go back to the IC title because that's the title he loved the most out of everything. So you got Naito, who hates the IC title and what it represents for him, and then you got Jericho, who loves the Intercontinental title and loves for what it represents. It's like a yin-yang approach, and it revolves around the IC title, and that's kind of interesting when I think about it. Then you got how the IC title was Naito's way to get the heavyweight title, so that makes it even more interesting when you add that layer to him accepting this title that he's been given, and now sees he can use it as a gateway to finally become Naito 2 belts. So yeah, those were my thoughts on Chris Jericho versus Evil for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship at Power Struggle 2018. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. If you feel like, comment, subscribe, and donate to for more.